Hey, what's up, YouTube? Today, we're going to get into why Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield is actually a better matchup than Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. So let's get into this. Now, a lot of hardcore Gervonta Tank Davis fans will have you believe that Tank versus Lamont Roach is actually a better matchup than Shakur versus Kid Austin. And there's a few problems with that, because if you're going to make that comparison, then you have to do so on an even playing field. So Shakur Stevenson, his competition level is what it is, and Tank's is what it is. And if you take a look at it, Shakur Stevenson's competition level is steeper than Tank's. And the thing about Tank is he's had plenty of extra time to develop these things, more time than Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur Stevenson is younger. So if you're going to compare the two of them in their competition level, then you have to take into consideration that Gervonta Tank Davis has had more time, more years to prepare for such a thing. So when you take a look at it like that, you could say, well, who was Tank fighting when he was Shakur Stevenson's age? Then you have no argument at all, because Shakur Stevenson's fighting way better people than Tank was if you compare their age at the same age. So then we could go a step further and say, you know what? Let's forget about all that, and let's just say, who's the better opponent right now? So a lot of Tank fans will say, well, Mr. Lightning, Lamont Roach, he's a champion. He's a champion, Mr. Lightning. Yeah, a champion that no one's ever heard of at 130 pounds, that Tank's bringing up in weight. Kid Austin is a fighter that's been fighting at 135 pounds. So he's already used to the weight class. He's a name that people have heard of. So there's the difference right there. You got Lamont Roach, who only hardcore boxing fans really know about. I know who he is, but I follow boxing very thoroughly. Casual fans don't know who Lamont Roach is. They only know about him now because he's fighting Tank Davis. Kid Austin is more well known than Lamont Roach. And you can go as far as to say he's a better fighter, probably. He's been fighting at 135 pounds. He's a big 135 pounder. And Lamont Roach is a 130 pounder who was already up to 135. And then he decided he wasn't big enough for that weight class and went down. So that tells you right there that he wasn't at his best at 135 pounds, or else he would have stayed there. So you could even say Kid Austin could defeat Lamont Roach if they fought at 135 pounds. So that's part of it, right? That takes care of it. But there's more. There's more. Because Gervonta Tank Davis, his coaches, everybody agrees that Gervonta Tank Davis can fight whoever he wants. He's the A-side in every situation, and he chooses his opponents. So whoever he's fighting is an opponent that he chose. With Shakur Stevenson, it's quite the opposite. All the opponents that he wanted to fight didn't want to fight him. So that's completely different. He had to choose his own best option. Did Gervonta Tank Davis choose that? No. Lamont Roach is not his best option, obviously. So that makes it 100% completely different when comparing the two situations. Gervonta Tank Davis is 100% capable of making any fight that we want to see. If he doesn't make it, that's because he didn't want to do it. Shakur Stevenson, he wants to put on the fights that the fans want to see. But the problem is, his opponents and his possible opponents, they don't want to fight him because they don't want to catch the loss and have that on their record as they move forward. So, Shakur Stevenson versus Kid Austin, a better matchup than Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. What do y'all think about this? Smash the like button and smash the subscribe button.